The muscle up, a skill less than 1% of people can successfully do. And I'm unfortunately in the 99.9% who can't do one. And I feel I've become quite good at pull-ups now, so the next logical step is to try go for the muscle up. So I devised a plan to get it. Well, the dip part of the pull-up isn't an issue. It's really the transition. So I thought maybe if I got a stronger pull, I'd be able to do a pull-up. To do that, I just need to master one skill, the pull-up. Yes, the dip is important, but I thought it was the least of my concerns. So the plan is quite simple. Do a pull-up every day, but each day I double the amount before. One day's 1, then 2, then 4, then 8, then 16, then 32. It gets out of hand quite fast, but my goal is to last just 7 days. Before the challenge starts, please like and subscribe. Remember, here on El-Ezer Thenica, we're defying gravity one skill at a time. Only one push-up. The challenge didn't feel like it really started yet. Day 1 of doing one pull-up every day and doubling it each time. So today I've only got one. Took me so much longer than I'd care to admit to get up there. This was the point when I realised it was day 2, so I had to do more. So that's day 2 done. The challenge was still feeling pretty easy overall, only 2 push-ups done in one day. Not really hard at all. In total, I was hanging for about 50 seconds because the climb up there was very difficult. I couldn't really jump down from how high up I was, but day 2 was quite easy. Today's pull-ups were surprisingly tedious. I expected to bang out 4 in a row in one set. Instead, it took me 3 sets to get the 4 done. I think it's because I've only been doing 3 pull-ups in the last 2 days, which is basically the same as doing 0 pull-ups in the last 2 days, in my opinion. So that may explain it. But if we're struggling on 4, day 7 may be looking long. Day 4, the halfway point, still quite easy. Today was a generational day. I broke my record for most unbroken pull-ups in a row with 8 pull-ups done. I didn't even think I'd be able to do that going into this. The original plan was just to try to do as many pull-ups as I could in the first, and then I would just wing it from there. But now I'm already halfway done with just 8 more left. And in the second set, you won't believe it, but I did 7, tying my previous record, which I had just broken when I did 8, which means I've gone from 8 to 7, which means I only needed 1 more pull-up to get to 16. Overall, day 4 was a good day for pull-ups. If we kept up this momentum, maybe day 6 and day 7 wouldn't be so hard. And if you thought day 4 was any good, day 5 was much worse. Well, initially it started out well. I broke my record of most pull-ups in a row that I just set the following day, doing 9 pull-ups, beating the original 8 I had done yesterday. Maybe this challenge does increase your pulling strength. And hopefully it could lead me to doing a muscle up with clean form. So after this seemingly vast improvement from day 3, I was beginning to wonder what actually happened on that day and why could I not do many pull-ups. But the joy was short-lived, as not long later I was failing pull-ups. This was not a good sign for the challenge. How was I ever going to do 128 push-ups? And with my next set only doing 2 pull-ups, I knew I was in trouble. And it wasn't helping that each rest between reps was taking 10 years. Even though we had started off strong, our time to do 16 pull-ups was much slower than the time we did yesterday. Not by too much, but significantly slower. At this point, I was really struggling more than I thought I would. I thought 32 pull-ups would be simple and I'd get it done in a few minutes, but when you're trying to race through them, it's much harder. So once I got to the halfway mark, I decided I needed to change bars and change location, and maybe that would help. After changing locations, not much changed. It still took me quite a long time than even the first half of what I'd started, so I'll speed this bit up for you. Now, one thing I do want to say about the pull-ups is the pull-ups didn't feel hard. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't like it was harder to do a pull-up. It was just I couldn't rep them out as easily as if I was fresh. And to prove it, I even did a muscle-up for my pull-up of 32. I was able to do it relatively fast compared to my first time doing a muscle-up. So I was a bit confused by that. Anyway, if you're wondering how I was tracking my workouts, I used the Liftoff app, which helps me record all my workouts and how many reps I do, which is how I've been able to take track of it. I just want to say, I'm not sponsored by Liftoff, but if you want to use a good workout app that tracks your workout, I'd really recommend this. Day 7. Over 100 push-ups on the hottest day. If I thought yesterday was hot, today was much hotter. It took me an hour and 44 to complete yesterday's reps, so I had a new plan for today. Today, I do 30 push-ups every hour, which should get me done in 4 to 5 hours. If I did 30 push-ups in 30 minutes, that should give me 30 minutes rest. But eventually, I was falling behind the set target of 30 pull-ups every hour. It also didn't help that I didn't start this challenge earlier, like at 8 o'clock, and waited till midday to begin. And obviously, at 12 PM, the sun is at its highest point, so the heat was unbearable. I decided to do my pull-ups on the bench instead, as it provided some sort of shade to protect me from the intense heat. At this point, I was reaching the halfway mark, and I couldn't believe I still had to do double everything I'd done just to complete today. After 6 hours of hard work, I finally reached 100, a record I'd never hit before. After a week of hard work, I'd done in total 250 plus pull-ups. I would have continued to day 8, but after checking the weather forecast, I knew I couldn't try it. But here was the vital question: would all this work help me do a muscle up? So technically this muscle up didn't count, so I guess it failed. But the muscle up only took 6 seconds to do instead of the usual 14, so maybe there was some benefits. Please like and subscribe, and maybe I'll try this challenge of dips if this gets 200 likes. And remember, here on El-Ezer Thenica, we're defying gravity, one skill at a time.